A moment of silence.
For film. For superheroes. For films with superheroes in them. And for people who enjoy films with superheroes in them.
And for people who enjoy films without superheroes in them. And for people.
Anybody who is, or has ever been, or will ever be a person. A moment of silence.
We saw Suicide Squad.
So...
Suicide.
I think we all do.
Yeah. This movie will not bring you into a better place.
No, it will not. So first off, in our Batman vs Superman review, we suggested you don't see Suicide Squad. We regrettably did not take our own advice, but we highly suggest that you take it because. Oh wow! Oh, it hurts. It hurts so much.
It's been years since I've seen a movie this bad.
Yes, I would have to agree. This is worse than Batman vs Superman.
By a bit.
By a large margin. Where should we even start? Okay, you know what? Let's start with what all the commercials, all the posters have super built up. The Joker.
The Joker's terrible.
The Joker is the worst thing to happen in America. The Joker is... Try to imagine, okay, you remember how in 8th grade, every kid had their impression of Heath Ledger's Joker?
And it was awful.
It was really bad. So imagine all of those kids put together, and then put into a blender, have Jared Leto drink that, and then gargle it. That's his Joker voice. That's his character.
It's depressing. It's an insult to... anyone who has ever written a Batman comic, even if it was a bad one, it was better than Jared Leto's Joker.
He's... I mean, you've seen the pictures already. You know, he's got all these useless tattoos, and he's got grills, and he's just, already you're like, why? Why? What is this? And it's never explained in the movie why he looks like that. It only gets sillier from there. There's a scene where he's got like a white... He looks like a pimp in a club, and he
literally has like the gold cane.
He has the gold cane. And it's like a 70s movie. Like it's... So you have that. I don't even feel like we have to talk more about the Joker. I feel like that's... What else is there to say?
They were merciful in one way.
And what would that be?
He is not in it that much.
Okay, yes. He only has about, what would you say, 10 minutes of screen time?
It feels like more, but probably less.
It felt like an eternity of screen time. But...
it feels like he's in at least, 20 minutes of the movie, but he's probably in, 4... and it just feels like an eternity.
Basically, if you are excited for this movie because you can't wait for a new look at the Joker, you think that the Joker is going to be a big part of the movie, that is not the case. Joker is barely in the movie. You will be sorely disappointed. And he is the worst
thing about it.
Yes, you will be so disappointed if you're just going to this for the Joker. There's been years of great Jokers. In fact, I don't think there's ever been a bad Joker until now. He is the first.
No.
It is the Joker Jenga building is finally toppled over with Jared Leto.
Too many good ones. You had Cesar Romero, and you had Jack Nicholson,
Heath Ledger,
and you had Heath Ledger,
Mark Hamill,
Kevin Michael Richardson,
John DiMaggio. The list goes on. Just voice actors. All of them probably. They all did a better job than Jared Leto.
They all did a great job, and Jared Leto just peed on Heath Ledger's grave.
Right on there. Didn't miss a spot.
He wrote his name in pee.
Yeah.
On Heath Ledger's graves.
He did, the ha thing, because that's a thing in the movie. Right?
Yeah.
Everywhere he goes, there's ha and graffiti, because... style.
There's this weird moment where he's laying on the ground laughing, and he has all these knives laid out
surrounding him, and it pans out like you think it's gonna be a shape of something, and it's not.
It's just a giant circle of weapons pointing at him.
What was the point?
It's artsy. It's stylish.
It's not. That's the next thing we should talk about, the style. This is the ugliest movie ever made. This is hideously ugly.
It assaults you.
It does assault you from the very beginning. these horrid colors of like pink and green that are just they just mesh. It's awful. It's so bad.
I knew. You know, you don't.
The posters are so ugly that you would think it would at least be less ugly than the posters, and it's not.
You know, I didn't think that I could judge a movie based on like the first half a second. But as soon as like the movie starts and like the first thing that they show you, I don't even remember exactly what it was. I think it was like the Warner Brothers logo.
Yeah, it's the Warner Brothers logo, and it looks normal, and then it fades into like pink and green.
And I was already like, oh no. What have we gotten ourselves into?
Because it has such a feeling of like we've taken over, like we're so bad and crazy, and it's so awful. This movie is like it's like a teenage girl rebelling. It's like it has this feeling of like you don't know how crazy I am, and it's just not. It's not at all. It's just so controlled by studios, and it's just. Oh, it's soulless. It's entirely soulless. Harley Quinn. A lot of people are really excited about Harley Quinn. Don't worry, she's also terrible. You know how I made a complaint in Batman vs. Superman about how they sort of objectified Amy Adams in one scene? This whole movie! The whole movie is objectifying Harley Quinn.
It's obnoxious.
It's absurd. There are so many gratuitous shots of her
butt.
Her butt. It is her butt that they gratuitously constantly show.
I
don't know how Margot Robbie was cool with that. And she was like, oh, you're gonna keep taking shots of that? Alright. Like, she never questioned, like, why is the cameraman always behind me? Like, she never thought about that. Like, it must have been a lot of money. I hope she made a lot of money. Because...
And I hope she uses that money to get a better agent.
Yes, because...
Or to bribe Scorsese to put her in another one of his films.
Right? Because she's very talented, and maybe... To be fair, I mean, anybody seems talented when they're directed by Martin Scorsese.
That's fair.
Maybe we were wronged, I don't know. But when I first saw that she was Harley Quinn, I was like, oh, that's a really great casting choice. Because she already had, like, you know, kind of the accent and everything in Wolf of Wall Street. I was like, oh, that's not a far reach, really.
Yeah.
It's horrible. First of all, they play just the same note over and over with her character, which is, she does something crazy, everybody stares at her, and she goes, what? And they do that about, what would you say, 700 times in the movie? I might be lowballing it, but yeah. They do it
750
almost constantly. Let's see, the other characters.
there is a character in the movie.
There's one actual.
There's one actual character in the movie. His name is Deadshot.
His name is Will Smith.
His name is Will Smith.
We're not gonna call him Deadshot. Doesn't matter. We should say we're not big on the comic books. I've read a few. I've read like the 3 big Batman comics. I read Dark Knight Returns and Batman Year One and The Killing Joke. That's all I know.
I know even less.
Yeah, and we've seen all the movies and a little bit of the 60s show. But we don't entirely know the Batman universe that well. That being said, I've never heard of most of these characters. I'd heard of Killer Croc.
Killer Croc was in Lego Batman the video game.
Yes. Yeah.
But Deadshot was a character. He had a daughter.
I mean, it was the most basic, cliched plot in the world, but at least they gave him a backstory.
He had a backstory.
They gave him an actual backstory, which is and it's sort of a slight return of Will Smith's charisma.
He was charismatic from time to time.
Will Smith has been such a pill. He has been so sad for the last 20 years doing all of these like just bummer movies that it was great to see him actually be kind of funny every once in a while.
This was like the most charismatic he's been since Independence Day?
Maybe. I don't know. There was some... Men in Black happened since then.
Oh, okay.
He's kind of charismatic in that.
Maybe Men in Black 2?
I didn't see 2 or 3, so I don't know. I don't know if he was in those.
I didn't...
But he was fine. And that was the best performance of the movie. It was fine.
Yeah.
And Viola Davis.
Viola Davis was kind of...
I would argue
awesome,
she was the best part of the movie. Probably.
Completely insane government lady.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Her character was stupid, but she was still the best part of the movie. Let's see, random Australian guy with a boomerang.
That's
Captain
kinda
Boomerang Man.
first instance of racism.
Oh,
The
it gets
Australian,
so much worse.
the Australian with the boomerang. That's a little.
like, yuck.
Granted,
So-
that's probably how it was in the comics, so we're not gonna be too hard on them on that one.
Let's get into that for a little bit here. So, I went into this movie with incredibly low expectations, as you know.
Sure did.
We went in saying, let's get ready to hate this, and you know what, that was close-minded of us, but I
was
didn't,
trying to keep an open mind.
I couldn't imagine the depths of the terribleness, and I never in a million years did I think this movie would be racist, but it has several racist things in it. Diablo is a gentleman who spits out fire from his fingers and his mouth.
He's the Human Torch,
He's
but
the
he's
Human
also
Torch.
kind of. I don't know what happened in the
Yeah,
climax.
He's the Human
Well,
Torch.
we're not gonna get into.
He is Mexican American, and they choose to
Write
make
him like that?
They choose to write him very like cholo East LA gangster guy.
Yeah.
He's covered in tattoos, and he says things like Holmes and Meng, and stuff like that, like super stereotypical stuff.
Yeah.
When all the characters, there's this part in the movie where they're like recruited and they get their like costumes back, or they're issued to them. I don't know. I didn't know what that was, but I didn't know what most of the things in this movie were. But his costume is a white wife beater. That's all he wears in the movie.
That's
like,
just...
wow. Okay, so he gets to wear. Great. Killer Croc, who I just thought of as a crocodile man, is he's more monster than man. They decided to make him African American, which is fine, except they decided to make him the most stereotypical black character ever.
It was kind of...
It's absurd.
He barely talks, but when he does...
It's a lot of like urban slang. It's clearly written by white people, and he when they at the end of the movie, which I guess spoilers. I don't know. Nothing happens. There's no plot to this movie. We'll get to the plot.
We'll get to the plot.
So he's they're all they're like demanding things because they save the world or whatever. So like, here's what I want. Harley Quinn wants an espresso machine, and then they show that later, and that counts as the joke. So for Killer Croc, all he wants in the world is BET, the Black Entertainment Channel. I don't know what the T is.
Television.
Is this Black Entertainment Television? Is that what it is? Oh, okay. That's all he wants. That's it. Moving on. So let's see. Okay, so we talked about the characters enough. I think.
Did we...
Oh, there's Witch Lady who cares.
She's the villain, and so she was pretty creepy. Like at the beginning.
It was every American remake of Japanese horror movies in the mid 2000s. It's what she was. She looked like The Ring.
She was like actually kind of creepy looking.
She was kind of intimidating, I guess.
But then they like changed what she looked like halfway through the movie.
Yes.
And then,
so she starts off as like Ring Girl, and then she becomes that lady at the end of Metropolis, which I know is going way back, but that's exactly what she looks like, and she does a dance like that happens in Metropolis.
It's weird.
She's like this big headdress.
It's significantly worse.
It's really dumb.
After she's just kind of like doing these weird moves, and she's
doing this like weird dancing.
It
doesn't make sense.
Like she has like kind of like makeup on the like from the neck down, but like after the change, she has no makeup on her face, and I think
looks awful. It looks so weird.
It looks so weird.
It looks like her face was like put on in Photoshop later.
Yeah,
like, it doesn't look right. And then her voice is terrible. It's terribly dubbed.
We forgot to talk about white guy that dates the witch.
Yeah. There's a soldier guy who's every soldier in every movie.
Who is like the third most important character in this movie, and who cares?
I don't remember his name. I don't even know if they say it. I don't. It's nothing. He's nothing. He's a nothing character. It's
I
completely
was
bland.
I was actively hoping that Deadshot was going to kill him the whole movie.
That'd be funny.
And it just didn't happen.
Didn't quite happen.
He got a happy ending. Nobody should get a happy ending.
Nobody else did.
We got the least happy
audience,
ending.
Yeah, the audience got the worst ending, which is this movie. I don't know. I can't think of anybody else in the cast that was memorable. The sheriff from Stranger Things, which these two haven't seen yet, but it's a really great show. You should check it out if you haven't seen it. He's in the conference room, just a guy. He had a really good actor that they didn't use at all. And then Ike Barinholtz is the funny, like, I don't know if he's the warden of the jail or whatever, but he's like the funny jail guy at the beginning and stuff. Funny. I think that's it for the cast.
There's the token Native American guy that dies about...
Who's in 2 scenes, and in the first scene, he punches a woman and knocks her out to dead silence from our audience, which was really funny. Unfortunately, they reacted inappropriately to most of it in that they laughed at the things that the screenwriters were funny, which is too bad. But for that one scene, we were all in unison like, nope, that's that's not cool. The Kill Bill lady.
She was awesome.
There's a ninja woman who is on the cop's side for whatever reason. I guess she's a ninja for hire or something. Who completely belongs in the Kill Bill series and not in a bad movie. She was in a bad movie for some reason. Even though she belonged.
She was
in a good
awesome,
movie.
and
was really cool.
She was like
the 1 second of her backstory that they show. There's like 2 minutes of her backstory. This is the best part of the movie. Is her like killing some guys, and she's like, "Well, you killed my husband" or something like that. She just like kills the guy. That's the best part.
Yeah,
is that brief moment of actual fun.
Yeah,
that has to be it for the cast.
There's so many people.
There's way too many characters.
It's like trying to be an ensemble movie while also trying to basically only focus on Harley and Deadshot.
It's like watching a waiter carrying too many plates and then he falls over. That's the movie. I mean, it's just they're carrying too many things at once, and they can't hold it all together, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about the plot.
So this is the plot to the movie. Exposition for 45 minutes.
Yes.
Climax for an hour and 15 minutes. That's it.
That's it.
There's no like rising action, rising action is what your story is.
That's act 2 of a movie typically.
There is no act 2.
There's no act 2. There's a first act and a third act.
Act 2 is like them getting their weapons. I don't even know.
That's whatever that scene was, which I still don't even know what it was.
It was funny, Jacob. It was funny.
Oh! It was funny the whole time! Now I get it. So, okay. So, yeah, they do exposition. They do, like, the character introduction thing where it's like they show their stats and stuff. It's like that movie Snatch, but bad. They do like a thing where it's like, oh, here's this character. Of course, they spend a ton of time on Will Smith and Margot Robbie, and then they just kind of get the other ones out of the way, which I was fine with. I could have used less of all the characters anyway. Oh, the Australian guy has a thing for pink unicorns, cause funny.
It never comes back.
He has like a stuffed animal that comes back a couple times. That's the one thing they stick to.
It's like literally he has it. The first time you see him?
Yeah, it like falls out of his coat, and then it falls out of his coat another time.
Yeah, and then you never see it. You never ever see it again.
No, so that was a wasted.
You don't even see it.
It wasn't funny in the first.
You don't even see it like in the wrap up when he's in his cell.
No,
it would have been.
No. It felt very much like Suicide Squad kind of trying to do like a Deadpool-y kind of joke, and it didn't work at all. Kind of like in Deadpool.
Oh,
and then,
sick burn.
Shut up. And then so the plot is worthless. It's garbage.
There's not one.
There's not. Yeah, you're right. It is this exposition. It's this, here's the characters. Here's what they want you to do. And by the way, we completely forgot what the mission is, like, right after they said it. It's so pointless. For some reason, Viola Davis is in a different spot than she was, and they have to get her out of there. It's kind of like Escape from New York, where it's like, oh, there's a person in the city, and the city's dangerous. You gotta go in there and get them. And they do, and then there's more movie for some reason. And there's something with the witch lady and witch man. That was funny. So there's a scene where a guy gets possessed by the soul of this witch's brother. Okay, and the guy who's played by Common of people, for some reason they got Common to play this random guy. He you see this like demon hand like come through the mirror and then pushes his head into the mirror, and then he's falling back and the mirror is like shattered and stuff. Next shot, nothing on his head, nothing on his forehead, not a scratch on him. I looked at there, I was like, why is there nothing on his forehead? Like, we noticed it right away.
Not sure if that was on purpose.
I imagine it wasn't,
because we laughed at it.
I think nothing done in this movie was on purpose. Like, this whole thing was just a horrible accident. We should. David Ayer has made a good movie before. He made Training Day, which it's not even a great movie, but it's entertaining and it's fun, and Denzel is super over the top and crazy in it, and it's a really good time. And End of Watch is a good movie too, even if there's some big cliches in it, but for the most part, it's actually still a pretty entertaining movie. He's also who's responsible for the Fast and the Furious movies, which kind of showed in this movie that it was all style and no substance, and the style was completely just god-awful.
Having only seen one Fast and the Furious movie, I'm sure that they have better style than...
Yeah. You saw the good one. You saw Fast 7 or something?
I saw Furious 7.
Furious 7. I saw Fast 5, and that was awful. It was so bad. I heard that Furious 7 was
supposedly
good.
2, 3, 4, and 5 are the bad ones.
Oh.
And 1, 6, and 7 are good? Having seen one of them, Furious 7 was a ton of fun.
Let us know which ones are good and bad in the comments below.
Actually, let's just review Furious 7.
Yeah, we're gonna watch Furious 7 and forget about this movie entirely.
You can't.
You can't? Yeah, you can't. You really
Actually, most of it's already gone.
Yeah, I just checked. It's mostly gone. I don't know. What else do we even have to say about it? Well, I know what happened with this movie, with the backstory of it, which is basically David Ayer wanted to make this movie a dark, miserable mess like Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, and the studio was like, well, we should probably lighten it up because the Marvel movies are really popular and they're light and fun and funny, almost like what superhero movies should be. So they made 2 cuts. There's the David Ayer cut, which was dark and miserable, and then there was the studio cut, which was apparently a lot lighter and more humorous, and their compromise was just mashing the 2 movies together.
And if you said, oh no, when he said that, that's what I said.
That's what everybody said. Somehow the studio didn't say that.
Everyone should know that that's the worst idea ever.
It should be, you showed test audiences both movies, and they preferred one movie, well, that movie won. Like, that's, and granted, you shouldn't leave filmmaking up to test audiences, it's horrible, but in the case of big studio movies like this, you kinda have to. It's just the way it goes. And that probably would have been a better movie. It would have been cringy, but it would have been less just miserable. So instead what we got was a cringy, miserable movie. It's just one or the other. Yeah, so it's really terrible. Really just shows how worthless film studios are. It really shows how worthless sometimes filmmakers are. It shows that everybody's wrong sometimes. This movie makes you just lose all faith in everything. really, there's no hope for anybody. It's what we learned after seeing this movie. This movie took the light and wonder from our souls and just left it just bleak and sad, like this movie.
Yeah. You know what we really need to do?
What?
We need to watch the Lego Movie. That might restore our faith.
Parks and Rec, I have found, is a good joy replenisher.
Might have to go marathon Parks and Recreation.
Marathon some Parks and Rec, watch some Lego Movie. That's what we're gonna do.
Cry a little bit.
We suggest that instead of paying the $50 to go see this movie in the theater, that you stay at home and watch Parks and Rec on Netflix for $8 a month.
The whole thing is there. It won't take you a month, I guarantee it.
That's believe us. That's you know what? That's my recommendation from the Suicide Squad review is Parks and Rec. What do you guys have to say? Final thoughts on Suicide Squad, Matt.
Parks and Rec is one of my favorite shows of all time.
Zachary, final thoughts on Suicide Squad. You haven't spoken much about this movie. How did you feel about this movie? How did this movie make you feel?
I didn't think they could go lower than Batman v Superman, but they made it significantly worse. And at least that one was fun bad. This was just bad.
Yeah, this movie actually made me angry. For the first time in a long time. A movie hasn't done that to me in a long time. I came out of Batman vs Superman smiling.
Yeah, we were laughing so hard. We had
thoroughly
a blast.
entertained. Yeah, we had a blast watching Batman vs Superman. I recommend Batman vs Superman over Suicide Squad any day.
The real problem is when a movie is trying to be serious and it fails, it's hilarious.
It's funny. When a
movie is trying to be funny and it fails, it's the worst.
Nothing is worse than bad comedy. It's a fact. You can ask any critic, you can ask any person who enjoys watching movies. Bad comedies, you can ask anybody. Bad comedies are the worst thing because they're not even funny. It's just miserable.
Yeah. My actual thoughts about this movie are I never need to see Jared Leto again.
I'm good with him not being in movies anymore. And you talked about he apparently did horrible things on the set. He put a dead animal in Will Smith.
Literally said that he hated him. Yeah. Will Smith threw a cast party and didn't invite Jared Leto. I need to send Will Smith some flowers.
I also had a party and didn't invite Jared Leto.
I've never invited Jared Leto to a party.
Not in my life. Zachary has.
That was one time.
He had just seen Requiem for a Dream the first time.
Yeah, and he was like, oh, he's actually talented.
Oh.
He saw Fight Club once, and he was like, oh, he can pick good scripts. Oh. That's too bad.
Yeah, this movie just kind of... I don't know if I can ever be optimistic about a movie again. Is Fantastic Beasts gonna suck?
Not a DC movie.
Is Rogue One gonna suck? Is the Beauty and the Beast movie gonna suck? Is Moana gonna suck?
They're there, Matt. They're there.
All family, bud.
All you have to worry about are DC movies and maybe just Warner Brothers movies in general.
But I like Aquaman.
You are alone on that.
I'm not completely alone.
You're right. Aquaman likes Aquaman. I will say, because Warner Brothers is in charge of Fantastic Beasts and where to find them.
We're in for...
And the new trailer...
was not as good.
There's a lot of action, which I don't...
Joe is not about action. Joe is about writing good characters and making you love them.
It could just be the trailers being just trying to hype people up, and that's how they're choosing to do it, is through, look, it's an action fest. It's like, those middle couple of Harry Potter movies that aren't very good, It's back to Suicide Squad. I would say this was accurately advertised.
Yeah, the commercials
I knew it was gonna suck from the commercials.
Yeah.
That's the last thing. Last thing I'll say before signing off here. They thought they clearly watched Guardians of the Galaxy.
Like everyone.
And like everybody. And what they thought was, oh, what made Guardians of the Galaxy good was the soundtrack. And that's one of the things that was very good about Guardians of the Galaxy. There are a lot of good things. So what they decided to do is put a classic rock song in every single scene of the movie.
There were good songs in this soundtrack. Songs that I love.
They very clearly they just wanted to make a soundtrack that will sell, and it didn't matter if the songs actually fit in the movie.
Yeah.
If you watch Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas, that is how you take previously recorded music and put it into a film. That's how you do that.
Or even Guardians of the Galaxy. It was
part
of the plot.
Yes.
It was literally in the plot.
Because it was his tape from his mom like that. There was a very clever way of having the soundtrack be in the movie. That was very clever. There's nothing clever about Suicide Squad. Literally nothing. It's... You can see the music supervisor just hitting play every time a classic rock song comes on.
Yeah.
Or to be fair, there were one or two hip hop songs when an African American character was on screen.
Hashtag you know what.
Yeah. So anyway,
your final thoughts?
my final thoughts are, I think Parks and Rec is one of the best shows ever made. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much.
So we're gonna each give it a score out of 10.
Oh, should we all say it like in harmony, or?
I don't think I'm gonna.
I guess I can't give it a 1.
I can't give it a 1 either.
I reserve that for movies that actually like deeply offend me, which this only lightly offended me.
So it's so. I will give this movie a 2 out of 10. It is not on the level of a couple movies that I hate with a burning passion.
Mm-hmm.
But man, it's down there.
It's down there.
It's down there. Zachary, what would you give it out of 10?
I give it a rating of trash. Thing that suits the movie. It's like they took a picture of a trash can and put it on screen.
No. They spray painted it with neon, and then they put it on the screen.
That's true, and it's surrounded by ha-ha-ha's, and this... Oh, man. There were quite a few Harley Quinn fangirls in the audience that I'm sure were... Actually, I'm not sure. I have no idea what their reaction was to this. They should be insulted. They probably aren't. They're probably like, that was great. Which is fine.
What do you give it out of 10?
Out of 10,
yeah.
I also give it trash. I don't think it's worth the numbers. Out of 10, I give it an F.
Hey, an F can be anywhere from 1 to 5.
I give it a Z. I give it the bottom of my soul. I give it the loss of my innocence. I don't know. Out of 10, I guess
you feel bad giving it something above a 1?
I do. I'll give it 1.5. I mean, because it's actively made me angry. And actually, you know what? I will give it 2. Because it actively made me angry, it at least gave an emotion.
Yeah.
It at least made me emote something. So I'll give it that.
Yeah.
It made me angry, and therefore I give it a slightly better rating. Yeah. 2 stars. 2 stars. Trash. Yeah. So after all that, if
you still want to go see it,
go see it. Go see it.
Don't do it.
Because it's for you.
But just be warned, this isn't Batman vs Superman.
No.
This is not entertainingly bad.
This is not so bad it's funny.
Okay, occasionally it was so bad it was funny.
I can send anybody in the comments who's like, what was so bad and so funny, I'll send you a screenshot, because it's just the Joker sitting there as a pimp. That's the only thing that made me laugh really hard. Maybe there was a few things.
We were cracking a few jokes.
Yeah, Zach and I were making jokes. So we were laughing a few times, yeah. It's not entertaining, it's not fun, it's not funny, it's terrible. That being said, if you... I would say the average moviegoer who saw the trailers, saw the posters, saw all that, and still thought, this is going to be great, you will probably enjoy this.
you have a chance of not hating it.
Yeah, that's fair.
If that's possible.
If that's possible.
It is. It has above a 7 on IMDb.
That'll go down.
It came out
That's
today.
that's fanboys who haven't seen the movie.
Yeah.
On Rotten Tomatoes,
It has like a
site, it has like 29% last time I checked, which is a few hours ago.
Hopefully it's lower now.
It's probably gotten below 29%. Yeah.
Oh man, when all said and done, it does not deserve above a 6 on IMDb.
Oh,
It needs to be like
goodness, no.
in
No.
the 5 range.
It should be. That's where it should be. That's where a lot of movies should be on IMDb. Anyway, tune in for us being disappointed with Fantastic Beasts and we'll find them.
Maybe we'll see something before then.
Who knows? Are there even any other movies coming up between those times?
Oh, we could always go see 9 Lives.
We've been critical cousins. Zach will no longer be on this show. Neither will I. Enjoy the Matthew vlogs. Good night.